Hey guys, this is Simon. Welcome back to the channel. Here, bringing you a update for the Bitcoin price as we head into the end of the week. So let's jump straight into the charts and see what has been going on, because we can see here that we are coming up on the weekly close. We're printing this. Looks a little bit like a sort of doji candle with a long wick above and also a long wick below at the moment. Obviously, Bitcoin has been in this consolidation for a couple of weeks now after printing this 9 candle on the Tom DeMark. So we're waiting to see here if we can get some extension above this 9 candle and break out of this resistance, which we're currently stalling at, which is around 38,000. If we just go over to the daily, we'll see that there's a couple of lines that I've drawn on here as support. That is coming in around about 36,900, I would say, or 36 sort of 870. So anywhere down to this level, it's probably easier to show it on the 4 hour. There's a couple of ascending trend lines, and obviously this keeps us in this formation, which is called an ascending triangle, where we have an ascending trend line at the bottom and a horizontal line at the top. Obviously, we did pierce just above this, but you know, it seems like we're coming back down to catch maybe a little bit more liquidity, a little bit lower, before hopefully making another attempt at the 38,000 level. And what we'd be looking for is obviously a clean daily break above that 38,000 level to initiate a breakout onto higher prices. So like I say, we're currently looking, it's around about 36,900 on the downside as first support. And then if we do break down below that, we've actually got another ascending trend line coming in around about 35,860, so just below the 36,000 level. Obviously, if as time goes by, if Bitcoin actually breaks down in a day or two's time, then those prices will be higher, because obviously these trend lines are ascending. So time is on our side. What I'm really looking for personally is for Bitcoin to continue to hold around about the levels it is at the moment, potentially going sideways, reaccumulating, and then making another push to try and finally get through this 38,000 resistance. And I'll just go on the record as saying that I can't personally see any reason why Bitcoin would break down right now. Obviously, we've got the ETF approval looming. And when I say looming, it should be a little over 5 to 6 weeks away now that the SEC actually have the final deadline for the first of the ETFs that were submitted earlier this year, being the ARK Invest, I believe. So I do feel, and obviously the Bloomberg ETF experts have given it, I think, a 95% chance that it is approved, but I believe it's around about the 9th or the 10th of January. So we are working towards that deadline. And I just think Bitcoin is very, very unlikely to sell off once we have that narrative in play. So this is obviously something as traders that we can lean into. And I'm personally thinking that Bitcoin probably has another attempt maybe later this week and looks to actually break through that 38K level. And from there, we've actually got some targets a little bit higher up. The first one coming in around about 33,000 on the daily. But if we actually sort of flip back to our weekly chart, we can see that we've actually got the fib retracement. This is from the bull market high to bear market low, from the last bull market to the end of the most recent bear market, coming in just over 42,000. So I'm thinking as a first target, we'd likely push up to around the 42 to 43,000 level in the first instant. And then obviously targets above that, we're targeting this breakdown level from back in March of 2022, which is coming in around about 48K. So those are the targets for the upside. If Bitcoin does lose support here, then I would expect us likely to come back down to the lower part of this range, so potentially as low as 33,500. First target would be this 34,800, call it. And then next target for me would be around sort of low 33,000s. Obviously, we're starting to get some moving average support coming up as well. I think that's the 50-day MA. It is indeed. So we hopefully see some support there. I think we get a lot of traders waiting for a retest of 32, but I'm not too sure we'll get that low on this breakdown, potentially after we've gone and we've nailed some higher targets, then at that point we might actually see the market turn around and give us a deeper correction. And I might as well bring up the monthly as well, just to show you where we are, because obviously there's only 4 days left now until the end of the month. Obviously, if we did close around these levels, I would think that would be a pretty nice monthly candle for us to then hopefully see some continuation into the 40K area, which is my preferred scenario. This is certainly what I'm positioned for, what I'm expecting, rather than a breakdown from here. So that's Bitcoin. Let's also take a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum is still lagging Bitcoin. I said in my last video, I think an explosive move for Ethereum is on the way. And if we actually look at the monthly, we're still underneath our April high for Ethereum. Obviously, Bitcoin is about 20% or so above it. So if we were to see a similar move on Ethereum, we'd be looking to come into this 2,500 level. And to be honest with you, I don't personally think we stop there. I think we probably run up to around about Ethereum's 50% retracement line, which is coming in at 2,877, or 76. So yeah, I think that is what we could expect from Ethereum, certainly if Bitcoin remains strong and if Bitcoin manages to break through the 38K level. For that reason, I actually prefer right now Ethereum as a trade over Bitcoin. And also, I just wanted to briefly cover some of my top altcoins. Let's actually just go to Ethereum before we do that, just on the daily, so we can see similar sort of posture to Ethereum as Bitcoin. We're looking at this, potentially this 20-day MA as some support for the price starting to come in. And we've also got some MA support on the 4 hour starting to come in just below these prices too. So yeah, I am expecting Ethereum to obviously follow largely what Bitcoin has been doing. Bitcoin seems to be leading, at least for now, this market. And yeah, really all eyes on Bitcoin and that 38K level. And then if we go over to Link, we can see Chainlink is one of my top alts. We can see that Chainlink broke out from this accumulation range between around about sort of call it $4.50, and just shy of $10, call it $9.50, for practically the best part of a year and a half, from sort of mid to early 2022 right until towards the end of 2023, when we just literally smashed through resistance, and Link has been on a bit of a tear. So at the moment, I'm expecting Link to probably again follow the leader in terms of following what Bitcoin does. But if we actually just bring on a Fibonacci retracement from the last low before our breakout, we can kind of see that we've come down, we've nailed the 382. Obviously, a dip below the 382 level, I would expect we'd find some support on the 0.5, around about 11.8. And then we've got the 618 coming in at 10.7. And it's quite interesting how obviously these Fibonacci levels line up with this current area of price action. So I'm thinking, look, if we do actually come down, those will be levels that we want to base off. Obviously, if we went all the way back to retest the high of the range it was in, it's going to just be below that 618, in between that and the 786. And maybe we get a wick down there. But I think it would take a pretty nasty sell-off in Bitcoin for us to actually see any of these scenarios play out. For now, Link seems to be holding up fairly strong. We're holding above this 20-day MA at the moment. And as long as price action continues to close above there, we should see another retest of Link's all-time highs, certainly if Bitcoin can get through the 38K level. And I mean, you know, the narrative and the story is going to be similar for a lot of the other altcoins that I'm looking at as well. It really depends on Bitcoin and what it does around 38K. We can see Solana absolutely scintillating push up all the way from around about $12 up to 68. And again, if we're just looking at our Fibonacci retracement tool, we can see that Solana hadn't even come down to, let's make sure I get that right, hadn't even come down to its 382. So yeah, obviously we've seen a little bit of a correction, but this price action here is very corrective. This is not an impulsive move down. This is nothing to really worry about. the move that we did get down to the 20-day moving average got brought up very, very quickly. And it looks like we could come into contact with that moving average again quite soon. So I'll be looking for a response here from Solana to see if we can push back to the upside, which again, hopefully coincides with Bitcoin taking on that 38K level again. And another one I wanted to check on was AVAX as well. So again, similar situation, very impulsive, explosive breakout move for AVAX. And we have come down and we are currently, we're still well above its 10-day moving average. So it'd be interesting to see if we do come down and test that one again. But yeah, I think with a lot of these tokens, obviously they have run quite a lot. And I think at this stage in the market, you need to kind of ask yourself, look, have they run too far? Am I too late? Do I, wait for the dip? And, it's a really good question to ask, because I'm even asking myself the same question. There's coins out there that have run that I'm not exposed to, that I'm thinking, oh, I wish I would have bought. And now I'm thinking to myself, look, do I get involved? Don't I get involved? And it's tough to know what to do, because, prices have already run a lot. But then again, are we actually going to get those dips? And in my opinion, at the moment, with the market being this bullish, I think we are expecting further upside for Bitcoin. And again, when in doubt, zoom out. If we go back to longer term charts here, and we're just looking at AVAX here on the monthly chart, we can see that obviously the all-time high for AVAX is $146. I mean, this is probably getting into the market too late. I'd say anything above, sort of $50, $60 on AVAX is probably getting into the market too late. But when it's down at $20, that's not too late. That is not too late at all. And, you're probably looking at this and you're saying, well, for us to really, really get bullish on AVAX, really we want to sort of break out of this $22.3 level. We can see it's a pretty big monthly level in terms of being our range high from our bear market, and flip that into support. And then that might be a safer entry. But ultimately, when prices do rally up again, and we're looking at AVAX starting to trade above $100 again, which I'm sure it will do over the next 1 to 2 years, can you really turn around and say that buying it at $20 was too late? And I mean, if you do stand back and you say to yourself, well, I've missed this one, I'm going to let this one go, how are you going to feel when you've got your cash on the side, and yet you're looking at AVAX above $100 and you had the opportunity to buy it at $20? So, this is not financial advice, of course. It's your money. It's your own portfolio. You need to make your own decisions. But for me, when people are looking at these tokens, it's the same situation with Solana. It's the same situation with Chainlink. They are still well off their highs. I mean, Solana, let's just give some example. We're still 78% down, from the all-time highs on Solana. And I personally see Solana breaking this, given the momentum, given the adoption, given everything that's happening with the chain, given the fact that over the years it should begin to eat into the market share of Ethereum. I think Solana is one of the best positioned tokens to go and not only challenge its previous all-time highs, but go on to make new highs. So for me, is it too late to get into Solana, get into AVAX, some of these strong blue chips with the adoption, with the narrative? No, is my answer. So if you don't have any exposure, I wouldn't blame you for wanting to pick some up here. Obviously, some of these coins are on a bit of a dip. So Solana is down, what's that? Probably around about 15% from where it was a few days ago. Let's just see what the exact drawdown is currently. If my trading view wants to play, yeah. So currently 16% off. Yeah, we could come down further. And I think for that reason, that's probably why at the moment you wouldn't want to go all in, but you would definitely want to be thinking about taking a position if you don't yet have one. I think at the moment where we are in the cycle, for me, the risk is to the upside. The risk is not that we are going to go significantly lower. So yeah, for whatever reason, my trading view doesn't like to play ball at the moment, but we can obviously see see the situation and see what's going on. And yeah, obviously we need to be focused on positioning accordingly. Rune is another one. So my trading view is definitely playing up at the moment. Seem to have some issues with my charts right now, which I apologize for. Let's just see what's going on here. Right, there we go. Yeah, I think I've solved it. Yeah, I have. Okay, brilliant. So Rune is another one that has been absolutely explosive that I think will do very, very well over the next bull run. It's got a great, great narrative in terms of adoption. If we look at the price, it's still 75% down off its all-time highs. So yes, I get this is a very explosive move, but I would expect Rune to trend up over the next 1 to 2 years, and therefore, even myself, I'm looking at sort of adding more to some of these tokens that I've shown you today. Obviously, I must disclose I do have long exposure to all the tokens we have looked at, but certainly a move lower. I mean, for me, around the $3 mark would be absolutely perfect entry on this, but I'm not sure that we'll get there. But potentially, if Bitcoin does correct and we see a significant correction in Bitcoin down to 32K or even below 32K, I would expect us to probably get some cheaper entries on some of these altcoins that we're looking at. But for now, as I said with Bitcoin, right now, the plan is just to wait and see what Bitcoin does. Can Bitcoin break that 38K? Therefore, we should see these altcoins start to take another leg higher. And I'm just thinking whether there's anything else I want to look at. Maybe very briefly, IMX, which is another token I'm very bullish on. Similar situation, fantastic run up to around about 150, consolidation starting to pull back. But to me, this looks very corrective. So just looking at levels for IMX, if we do a fib retracement, we can see that our first support will be coming in at this 236, around about sort of the 1.25. And obviously our 10-day moving average is starting to catch up. Obviously, price has got away from this moving average. A lot of the times we will actually see price move very far away from the moving average and then start to revert back into the moving average. And that gives us an opportunity to hop onto the trend. So I think what I will do is probably leave it there. So just really to recap the situation on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still looking strong. We are still holding this ascending triangle formation with obviously the high coming in currently at 38,000. That is our resistance with obviously ascending support. So we will look to see whether this support can hold and we can get another attempt at 38,000. If not, I'm just looking at these horizontal levels really as being levels of support on the way down. I think the main ones probably are going to come in here just below 35,000 at 48.7, and we could probably do another horizontal level here as well. So that's going to be it. That's the update from me today on the markets. Obviously, if you have enjoyed the content, please do smash a like, hit subscribe. I am going to be releasing my altcoin portfolio, or should I say my crypto bull run portfolio, over the next day. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. And I will speak to you again soon.